If you're into Maschinen Krieger, definitely get one of these. If you're new to Maschinen Krieger, this is a great way to get into it without spending a lot of money. Hello, this is BJ from Hearns Hobbies, and I'm going to be looking at the brand new Hasegawa kit from the Mac universe, or Maschinen Krieger, of the Dachshund. So, quite excited about this because we love our Maschinen Krieger here. And the Dachshund is one of the versions of the Grober Hund that was only available as either a resin limited edition kit or as a conversion part for the original Grober Hund. And it's great that they've actually decided to make the Dachshund parts so you can actually get your Dachshund already in a box without the price of any resin upgrades or full resin kit. Now, if you're not familiar with the Grober Hund before, then we've got the Daisy, which is Warwick's Grober Hund. So I don't know exactly which version this is because he's done a bit of custom to this. You might see here that we've got the Hearns workshop hand conversion, because this particular hand here, he's made it into a reconnaissance sort of radar sensing arm rather than the gun arm which comes on all Grober Hunds, and I'll show you that when I open this up. So this is the basic configuration of the Grober Hund. The difference is going to be, the main difference is the head. The face itself is more dog-like, and then the backpack's different to this one, and it's got another different armored panel on the back of the backpack. But predominantly all the rest of the parts are identical. So it uses the same framework, legs, arms, and overall armor package. All right, let's open this up. Let's have a look at all the nice bits and pieces. All right, let's sit that there. All right, now with Hasegawa kits, they're normally all sealed up so that they're difficult to see, but I mean, since we're going to be getting into this, I've opened it up so we can have a closer look at everything. All right, so let's have a look inside this bag here. All right, I'll lay it all out. So some of these parts are going to be multiples. Now, of the various varieties, the Dachshund is closest to the clip-clop version. Now, the clip-clop has the rocket launchers at the back, and so these are the rocket launchers right here. Okay, so there's probably going to be more of them because there should be two on each side. Then that's the actual mount that goes onto the side, and they're the ends. Yeah, look at that closer. Yeah, there should be more to that. They'll be on another sprue. Okay, and then there's the end points as well. So over here we've got the feet. So the feet are identical as well. So same as Daisy. There's a front here, so the toes are over here. There's the two halves, they glue together like this. And then you have the rear heel sections, which are two-piece. And then there's additional bottles here, and they'll be used in various parts of the framework. So let's just pop those away over here. Okay, so this is a bit of armament. All right, now we've got this huge bag of stuff. Let me just quickly empty it out. All right, let's start with these ones here. Okay, so you've got two sections here. This is quite generic in terms that these are included with every Grober Hund kit, and it's basically a variety of different nuts and bolts and additional details. You got parts here. These are for the ends of the rocket launchers, I think. And then, so the idea is with Mac and Maschinen Krieger, it was built up from kit bashing. So this is to help you with that particular philosophy and put nuts and bolts wherever you want. And it helps add extra interest to the kit and also customize it to the way you like it as well. So there are your little bits there. Okay, this part here is the main backpack section. So this backpack section is totally different shape to Daisy's. So it's a lot tighter. There's you've got the framework here, which is around the shoulders of the droid. And then here you have, these are the two halves to the weapons arm, which Warwick has replaced on his with a hand. And more sections here for the main sort of neck and chest sections. So you can see just here. So that's the basic shape. And it's quite different. Okay, so that part there. What have we got here? Oh, actually, I made a mistake. So this is the actual weapons arm here. The other section would have been, oh, that's the other forearm that I showed you before. So this is the weapon section. It's got the twin barrels. So this is the actual barrel here. It's two, one extended, one as an orifice. And that's where, if you want to, that's where this conversion kit, this replaces this to give you this regular arm and hand. Just around here. All right, so what else we got here? So here we've got parts of the face and the shoulders. You've got the shock absorbers here, which are mounted in the shoulder section. Here's the general face. So your face here. There will be some parts that you won't use because they're used on other variations. You got parts of the hands. So you got the fingers. And then there's part of the head as well. So there's a section there which is like a reinforcing part. And armor panels. So they've got that natural curve to them, which is quite similar to the curvature of a ping pong ball, which was quite often used on the originals. Okay, so we've got that. Okay, so over here we've got a little bit of magic. These are the parts that are brand new for this particular version. So it's mainly this part here. So this is the section which is most noticeable. So that's the actual new face parts for the Dachshund. So this is an extended snout, and this is the central eye, which goes in the middle there. So the eye itself is a lot smaller than the original Grober Hund. You got a new panel here, which is additional. I think it's like an armor plate for the engine bay on the backpack. And then there's another panel here for armor. And then there's three new parts here, which I'm not too sure about, but we'll find out in the manual as we get to that. Okay, so that's a brand new parts there. All right. As we get in, so you get some more small bits and pieces here. So whereabouts they go, not too sure, because there's a whole lot of different sort of struts and parts to make up the complicated framework. Okay, so we've got a lot of limb parts, and here's the belly protection here, which is identical to Daisy over there. So you've got leg components, and then this part here is probably part of the hip, I think. You got various ball joints, so ball joints for the legs and torso, and then some optional sensors here. Okay. Over here, similar sort of thing, but we have the engine part of the backpack. Now this particular part is actually covered with the brand new armor plate. Got additional armor plates here, as you can see, the curved sections. Got the base of the feet. Then you've got this section here, which may be another optional foot tread, which isn't used on this particular version. And you've got armor for they appear to be on the sides of the hips. Okay. All right, so here we go. We've got another set of sprues here. So this is how they vary from the first lot I showed you. They're the additional parts to complete the rocket launchers. So the mount itself, it's got a slightly different pattern here. So this would glue into there to make the star-shaped support. And then we've got the additional parts here for completing the actual rockets themselves. Okay. So lots and lots of parts. We're almost towards the end of the parts. All right, so here we have some more limb parts and a lot more of the armor plate. Okay, so we've got these are the lower legs here. This section here is that also appears to be the middle leg. So basically the knee, it's a big knee. So lots of armour parts here. So you got kneecaps, covers, and then various other odd bits and pieces to complete. So you'll have different joints, and then also within the actual mechanics of the chest area and around the head. And so you've got two sheets of those, left and right. Okay, so we'll come up to this last bag here. So selection of clear parts, really nicely polished. So you won't use all of these. There's a big one for the original Grober Hund central eye. But you will use some of those, such as this side lights. This particular section is a flexible vinyl type of material for all the vinyl hoses. It's a nice touch because the kits themselves are designed with joints, so that when you repose the model, you'll be able to move these around without actually damaging them. And then this itself, these are all the soft parts for making the joints. So over here you've got captured parts here to take in all the ball joints, and then you have these right angle type pin joints as well. So all in all, a very, very well engineered kit, very complicated to be able to make it all work like this. So that's pretty much all the plastic parts. I'll move these over here. Right, still going. We've got a section of plastic tubing. So tubing is used for all the hydraulic type lines, and you'll see those all on daisy around the shoulders. Quite a large selection there. And then with the new kit comes a new set of decals with Kow Yokoyama's new types of divisional markings. So one of the things with each new release, the decals will be different, and it makes it quite customizable. You can see the number of different finishes and divisional numbers and letters here, and quite a few people enjoy collecting these as well. And then you have all these different black or white choice stencils, and that's useful because if you're doing a camouflage pattern, a black may get hidden, so that's where you use a white one instead. Alright, so those are the decals, and then of course you get one of their traditional Maschinen Krieger cards. So this is designed to fit into a binder, and with each kit you get one of these cards. You can just keep collecting them. So this talks a little bit about the history, the color schemes and camouflages of the different versions, and basically a little story about which division they were with, and what each part does. Then you have this side as well. So it's quite recognizable from the profile. So the head shape here, totally different, and then the extended engine cover here. Alright, so that's very nice. And then we get into the manual. Now before I get into that, just notice that there's an addendum included inside. So just a correction on the construction. So perhaps a few parts were wrong or the order was wrong. So just make sure you follow this rather than the actual manual there. Okay, so let's go into the manual. Alright, so it starts off with a paint list here. It's pretty basic, because with these particular models, Maschinen Krieger, it's really one of those types of genres where you're allowed artistic license. So this is what they suggest as a basic idea, but do whatever you like, really. Any type of German type camouflage works on these, but you can do any type of custom you like as well. Now here you see the quite comprehensive parts list, and any of the dark shaded areas, they're the parts that you won't be using. So with this particular version of the Dachshund, you don't use any of those bits. So just keep those in your spares because they'll probably come in handy. Alright, so this is one of those folding out type manuals. And you can see just from here how complicated this particular kit is. So you've got all your steps listed down the side. So building up of the foot first, you'll see how many polycaps are inside, and every polycap is basically allowing for a moving point. So you've got the rear heel sections on each side, they'll move, and then you've got the actual ball jointed ankle as well. And of course you make two sides for the left and the right. So identical, except you just have to take note of the direction of where the ball joint goes. You start building up the legs. So again, there's the polycaps that go each side with the joints connected together. So again, 2 sets, and then another 2 sets. And then as you make those sub-assemblies, you end up with 4 sub-assemblies. So you get your foot, and there's 3 sections for the leg. And this is how it just easily presses into place in the polycaps. So left and right, and then your legs are complete. So here it's building up the torso. So it's quite a robust torso. You've got quite a large model here, and it'll be taking quite a lot of weight. So you've got your polycaps going in. This is supporting the armored plates, and then the legs with the ball joints just clip into the sides there. So you can have your Grober Hund or Dachshund sitting if you liked. It's got a lot of movement. Okay, so from there you start moving into the backpack. So backpack is where all the engine type equipment is placed. So you've got this sort of machinery which is mounted at the front, and then you've got the engine. I guess you call that like the exhaust system. That's at the back, and then the halves are sealed together. So from there, so this section over here is the, I guess you'd call that the thorax part of it. So the sort of chest part of the Dachshund would click into this part where that hinges, and there's the backpack, and then the legs will be connecting onto the base here. This section here, this is the forward mounted searchlights, and here's that unique part too. There's the armour cover that's specifically for the Dachshund. So that goes on and covers up all that. Oh, let's see what we've got here. Where are we up to? Okay, so we're going to making the hands. So you see the 4 fingers there. Building up of the arm sections. So here's the weaponized unit with the long forearm, and you've got the 2 barrels here. This is building up the I guess this is the chest component. So very complicated indeed. Lots of parts. And then as you get to this point, we'll spin it around. And it proves I was totally wrong. This is actually just the shoulder. Okay, so you've got the 2 sections of the shoulders here. Okay. Well, it's actually not the shoulder. I guess you call that the elbow, and then you've got another section here. This is building up of the head unit. The head unit is also very complicated. It has a lot of sensors and clear parts and lights. This is the section which is particular specific to the Dachshund. So you've got the 2 halves of the very long snout with the smaller cyclops looking light or sensor. And then you've got the ear components that are going on here. And then here's the final sort of eyes and other sensors going on. Okay, so this is the part where I got mistaken before. This is the actual chest part. So you've got these sections here go together. You've got the shocks that we had a look at earlier. And then this is where the subassembly of the head is fitted onto the top of the chest part, which is right there. You can see so many bits and pieces just hanging off this. There's just a multitude of interesting components. It looks very open. Alright, so next steps we're getting into, so you got the clip-clop style rocket launchers, they're getting put together. You got sub-assemblies here, so you got your backpack already on, the legs are on, finalizing up some of the armor plates at the back, and then you've got your sub-assemblies here of the arms. They're getting mounted into the chest section and the neck with the head. This is showing you where some of those vinyl tubes will go to give that hydraulic look. And over here again, getting all the hydraulics in place. And then that section with the ends of the hydraulic tubes going inside the backpack, and that chest section going into the abdomen bit there. And then over here there's some smoke launchers which are optional. They look quite nice. Just add those onto the backpack, and then the rocket launchers getting mounted into its holders there so they can rotate. And that's the completed Dachshund. So it's very nice. So for a new Maschinen Krieger release, this has been very well anticipated, long time in the making. It didn't take a lot for them to convert an existing Grober Hund into a Dachshund, but of all of them, I think this is probably one of the more interesting looking, particularly if you like that sort of long snout, and particularly if you like really interesting, really complicated mecha type kits. So as you can see from Daisy, which is just here, Warwick's done a really good job on that one, and I think he's going to do another version of the Dachshund as well. So keep your eyes peeled. Just by seeing this, I might just move it around a bit, and you might be able to get a bit of idea of the complexities that have gone into Daisy. Now he's added quite a few custom bits, but for a base model mech, it's quite a big unit. You can see all these parts here are just all jam-packed inside this particular kit. And I think looking inside here is one of the most interesting parts. You can see the shock with the springs, all the hydraulics, and all the joints there. So this is my open box of the new Hasegawa 1/20th scale Dachshund, which is a Grober Hund, or more closely related to the Clip Clop. So if you're into Maschinen Krieger, definitely get one of these. If you're new to Maschinen Krieger, this is a great way to get into it without spending a lot of money. So it's a really complicated kit, big kit, but for the cost of the kit, it's actually got a lot of build and a lot of play value. So very nice.